championship last year, Will Davison in a brand new Mustang, and Cameron Waters, his teammate, Nick Percat, an Adelaide boy, out of position number 4. Fabian Coulthard, Jamie Whincup, and then we're going to see Scotty McLaughlin. This is James Courtney, qualified 10th, Holden Commodore ZB, Mobil 1 Mega Racing, twice an Adelaide 500 winner. He's had a couple of pole positions here, 14th in the championship last year. He's already laid his signature on the wall at turn 8. That staircase that I described before, turns 4, 5, 6, 7. He hasn't been entirely happy with the car, said it had a little bit too much push. They've been working, trying to get a balance in the car. That's his team boss, Ryan Walkinshaw, in the garage with their commercial manager, Bruce Stewart, in the background. Mark Scape is back in the commentary box. You're pretty good at stitching together these one-lap acts yourself. The premium here is enormous. We've already seen what happens if you overstep the mark, and of course if you're a little shy of the numbers, you're just frankly slow. That's the hard balance. Good afternoon to you, Mark.
Afternoon, Neil, and that's exactly right. And the commitment around here required to do a good job is extraordinary. And the reward for picking the car up and carrying it, trying to get a result, is big. The driver plays a very, very big role around street circuits, and this is one of the classic examples. Courtney's always been very, very good here, and he's a man that I love watching around the streets of Adelaide.
At 38 years of age now, the oldest driver in the Virgin Australia Supercars field, James Courtney sets up for his run to see what he can produce for Armour All qualifying in this top 10 shootout. He's at turn 13. Critical to start your lap perfectly. He wants to use every last millimetre, hit all his targets, advance that throttle gently, not burst into too much wheel spin, and get a nice, good, clean start to the lap. The run to 1, where the tyres have been shifted ever so slightly this year. Nicely through. Doesn't trigger a curb strike at 2, which is a critical start to the lap. Across these bumps at Wakefield Street and the run up towards turn 4, it pinch the rear brakes ever so slightly right at the turning point.
Yeah, just a little sideways at that turning point. He got away with it. He uses a lot of road out of 5, and then over the little bumps into turn 6. There's the new wall profile on the left-hand side, and again right here at 7. Everybody right out sideways for Courtney. Use the curb there as a motocross berm, retain the wheel spin and the slide. And this one, turn 8, this is wild stuff.
14th of a second away in sector 1, and the sorts of times that we saw in qualifying earlier in the weekend. But remember, peak temperatures out there at the moment, it's about 39 degrees, a lot of UV on the racetrack. He's in the 3rd sector now, at turn 11. Just the right measure of curb on the inside, used everything on the outside, working to the shift lights. Now it's a question of just stopping the car squarely. Not a bad looking lap from James Courtney, good way to open his account. Been chasing setup in this car, and Courtney nails a 121 flat. The lap got better as he progressed.
It did, exactly right.
Terry Curry's engineer in the foreground. Veteran mechanic and engineer in the background, Rob Starr, who's been with the Holden Racing team since the early 90s. On the exit of turn 7, check out the way in which James just glides it up to the exit wall there. It's been tightened up this year. He's on the line listening. JC, not a bad start to proceedings. You ended up with a 21 flat. You happy with your work?
No, mate, I'd rather a 20 flat, but 21 it is. But yeah, look, it's pretty greasy out here, really pretty greasy. So look, we didn't have any greens, had to use them all up to get in here, so it's going to be a race of attrition this afternoon. See how we go.
James, what's the car like as a race car?
It's pretty good as a race car, just that outright speed, just can't attack it enough, so we lose it all in that 1st sector.
Good luck this afternoon, mate.
Cheers, lads.
James Courtney, 1 minute 21.04 to his name. Next up, David Reynolds, winner of the last race at the back end of the championship last year, Holden Commodore, Penrite Racing. He achieved a 1 minute 20.01 in qualifying in the ZB Holden Commodore. Loaded fronts, brand new tyres on the rear for maximum traction. Great shot at the curb cam. Remember, he was runner-up here last year on Sunday. Only missed out by a whisker in his pursuit of Shane Van Gisbergen.
We were critical of him letting Van Gisbergen go by, because at that stage he probably could have won at that point. He's always good around these difficult layouts. At Bathurst, he's qualified on pole. He led 122 laps of the Bathurst 1000.
he's made good ground in sector one. He's nearly 4/10 of a second up on James Courtney, who was battling a slippery car. The challenge for David and for Penrite, as he has maximum attack through turn 8, has been high-speed push and trying to tidy up the low-speed drive at the rear of the car. It looks like they've had success in that area because this car is flying at the moment. He's done a 20.1 in the mid-sector. It is a great lap by David Reynolds. They're watching at Penrite Racing. Anton Di Pasquale, who yesterday ate the concrete at turn 8. So he may well go very close to achieving the number that he did in quality. It was basically a flat 20. He's chasing a 21.0 for Courtney. Out of the final corner here for Reynolds. Needs a good consistent start as you described, Mark. He's done a 20.5. He's peeled half a second out of James Courtney's time. Nice work.
That'll put him up the field. That's a very good quality lap. Very good quality lap. Did not make a mistake. Used all the road everywhere. Millimetre perfect. Rode the curves beautifully. Got through turn 1. Dave Mark Scaife. That was a beautiful lap. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Scaife. It was okay. My rear roll bar keeps like going softer halfway around the lap, so I'm like stressing out about it. But all in all, mate, the conditions are so hot, so
stop stressing.
I can't help myself. I'm stressing.
All right. Good luck this afternoon. Well done.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
Auto setting on the rear anti-roll bar. That would be disconcerting just watching the leader operating with a mind of its own. Rick Kelly Racing, Castrol Racing colours on this car. Most experienced of the Adelaide 500 runners. It's his 18th run in this event this weekend. Now this car pricked its ears up massively when they put new tyres on it. Early on in practice they were having a real battle trying to get it settled down. The little tweaks to the Nissan in 2019 at the front and the rear. One of the hallmarks of Rick's campaign around this racetrack, incredible consistency. He's been a winner, he's had a pole position here previously.
4 green tyres for Rick Kelly, so all new tyres for the Nissan Altima. A little bit of understeer there in the turn in for turn 5. He gets across the bump on the inside of turn 6 nicely, uses the exit curb slightly down on what was an amazing first sector for Dave Reynolds. And the leader, talking to yourself the whole way up here, trying not to break it too hard.
Just fractionally quicker than Courtney in sector 1, but slower than Reynolds. Gets it squarely stopped down here at turn 9 where you get massive front brake temperatures. He battled to actually get it round there. It pushed, in fact, you could just hear the remnants of the understeer in the background on the audio. So the chatter in the front tyres in the mid-corner at about 60 kilometres an hour at turn 9. A committed lap from Rick Kelly, who achieved a 19.2 in qualifying to make it into this Armour All Top 10 shootout. Touches the apex markers at the final corner. This is going to be there or thereabouts. I don't think it's David's speed, but it's not far away. Now he lost a bit more time in the final sector.
Private theory, no shit, mate.
21.05.
He lost a lot, didn't he? Yeah, the last sector.
Yeah, the middle sector didn't look so bad, but in the last one it hasn't stuck together at all for him. So Rick Kelly currently sitting in 3rd place. Here's a replay at turn 8. It looked like it had the opposite going there at high speed, didn't it? Looked like it had a fair bit of push. Rick's in the background listening at the moment. It's Neil. Hey mate, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, a little disappointed with what we managed to extract out of it. Obviously a lot slower than yesterday. The track temps up and just generating a fair bit more oversteer in the car at the moment. So you turn the steering wheel in and the rear wants to come around, as well as rear locking. So we've cleared that now. We just need to get cool again and get ready for the long run.
Thanks, Rick. Have a good run today. Shane Van Gisbergen. He's shooting for victory number 5 in a row in Adelaide. What an extraordinary performance. Pole positions, race victories. He battled all the way to the final day of competition in 2018 in that extraordinary arm wrestle between he and his fellow countryman, Scotty McLaughlin. Grant McPherson, engineer, Mark Dutton, team manager in the Red Bull Holden Racing Team outfit. This is the run to turn 1. 19.8 in qualifying for him. 3 times an Adelaide 500 winner, which you achieved by winning on the Sunday at this location. And it's typical Shane Van Gisbergen on a street circuit. Nothing's left to the imagination when it comes to using every available millimetre.
Absolutely, right across the inside curve, sideways off turn 2. Right into the fence at turn 3. It was beautiful car control as we watch, and he peels the left-hand mirror back against the fence between turn 6 and turn 7. And that's a very good job by Van Gisbergen. He's only 700ths down on David Reynolds' first sector. This is where he makes time up.
What it does do is underscore how good Reynolds' lap was in that first phase. You can see the passenger mirror's already been folded back, as Mark described. 7 pole positions at this location for Van Gisbergen. Climbs the entry curve on the run into turn 11, trying to find an extra millimetre or two. Did a bit of dirt bike training over the summer in New Zealand to escape the clutches of pressure from Supercars racing, and has come back refreshed and invigorated.
It's going to be really close now.
Whilst he produced for us, Shane Van Gisbergen goes to the top. Nice work.
Clear of Reynolds by 0.12. Seattle was that. Good job, thank you.
20.3883, so 0.12 of a second the margin. And idling. So nice work. What was impressive was how hard he attacked turn 8 as well.
What's the mirror?
There's no more space there. It's all over Red Rover.
Exactly. That's what
Kind
he's
of
been very
used
good at, hasn't he?
like a snooker cushion. Yep, okay, we found the edge of it here.
Yeah.
He's impressive to watch at these circuits. Okay, Will Davis, Ford Mustang, Milwaukee racing in 19.7 in order to be able to get in. He's got fresh tyres from Dunlop on this car. Beautiful presentation for the vehicle. This is a revamped car, remembering that this organisation, 23 Red, has been swallowed into Tickford racing, so it's something of a homecoming for Will Davison. Pole here in 2011, 15th in the championship last year. There's the man writing the cheques, Phil Munday, and nervous at the moment. 2012 Adelaide 500 winner. He's got pedigree. He was pretty happy with the car when I asked him about it this morning. Said they're just refining little things, a little bit of brake stability, a little bit of balance, but essentially a happy race driver. You don't hear it that often.
Certainly don't. He's on 4 green tyres. We didn't say before that Van Gisbergen was on new tyres also. So green tyres for Van Gisbergen worked well. Currently fastest. Now Will Davison applies his trade. He's re-energised. He's back in effectively in the fold with the Tickford group. He's had great success with that organisation. Uses all the road. He balances it off. He compromises the exit there at 5, so he can get across the inside of the bump that's so pronounced on the way into turn 6. This is all the road right up against those newly placed tyres. Just have a listen to this one through turn 8. This is real commitment.
So a whisker slower than Van Gisbergen and Reynolds, but quicker than anybody else. And in fact, in the middle sector, that's the best that we've seen so far. So it was timely that we jumped on board for the run through turn 8, because that's really what it's all about. Into the left-hander behind the pits. So that also suggests to me that tyre pressures are normalising a little bit as the lap progresses and things are steadying down for this car. So good mid-sector for Will Davison.
He gets stopped. Yes, he does. That's a nice exit. Nice and clean now. They run in the left-hand side there to shorten the distance to the start-finish line. And he does a 20.52, goes into 3rd. So that's a good job. Very good job. But the standout so far would be Reynolds from coming on the 9th.
The gentleman in the white shirt there was Martin Gunsberg from Ford Australia. It's a big weekend for everybody from Ford with the Mustang here. So here's the replay of Will at turn 5. And looking at the data on this lap, that big gain for him was turn 8. He was very, very strong through there. He's listening in the background. Hey, Will, it's Neil. Nice work, mate. You've ended up in position 3 on a 20.5. Are you happy?
I'm getting a bit greedy. The car's been so good that no, I'm a bit disappointed. But listen, the lap wasn't bad. The grip's obviously down. We expected that. But yeah, it was a clean lap. I probably should have digged in a bit more.
You're back home effectively with the gang at Tickford. You're happy with the surroundings?
Yeah, it's awesome. Listen, it's just good to along with Bill and 23 Red Milwaukee, just sort of be in amongst it, you know, have a proper big team environment, a lot of quirky teammate banter, and obviously engineering group's massive, so it's all good.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks,
Good luck
guys.
this afternoon. Cam Waters on screen now. Ford Mustang Monster Energy Racing Team. Ford Mustang, so effectively from the same workshop as Will's car. He's been away for some driver coaching again with Rob Wilson in the UK over the summer period. He's been 4th on a couple of occasions here. 19.7 was the number that bought him the ticket to ride in the top 10 shootout. He's had a pretty good run in top 10 shootouts here over the years. But cast your mind back to 2018, and he ain't concrete down here at turn 8. He tried pretty hard to do the same thing yesterday as well, but he got away with it.
He had a monster moment in qualifying. Set a really good job at the first sector. Young bloke from Albury, he's 24 years of age, and he's currently on our predictor very, very close to knocking Van Gisbergen off. Let's just see how he finishes this off, because very easy to overrun this next left-hander. Gets it turned in nicely, a little bit of wheel spin and an oversteer on the way out of 11.
That Chris has got everything crossed there at the moment. So the best number we've seen in Sector 1. Impressive 19 was in Sector 2. Oh, he's giving millimetres away when they matter at the moment in the final corner. A few metres to run now for Cam Waters. What does he produce for us? And it's a very impressive time. He's gone to the top. The Waters family celebrates. He's got a margin 0.04 of a second, and Brad Wisherson on screen there now has taken an overarching role in engineering at Tickford Racing, so he's looking after the entire group. Cam, it's Neil, nice work, brother. A 20.3, fantastic, well done.
Yeah, cheers, mate. It was a little bit hard to know the conditions out here, but car was pretty good, and the race ride in the car felt good as well. So, yeah, just happy to kind of end up P1 at the moment. We'll see what the other boys have got.
Well done. Have a great run this afternoon.
Cheers, mate.
Beautiful scenes of Adelaide looking from above. The Century Batteries chopper shop. Next up, we're going to see an Adelaide boy, Nick Percat, Holden Commodore, National Pharmacies on this car. Dave Hughes watching. Agree?
There was a little bit of panic with Nick Percat. His radio was not working. They didn't have a chance to recycle that or change it, so he's out there with no radio.
It's probably one of the only ones you can get away with. For one lap, you probably don't need it that much, but about temperatures, for instance, that's the warm-up routine is the one that he won't be able to get.
2016 Adelaide 500 winner in weird weather circumstances a couple of years ago. As we jump on board, it's an Adelaide-based company that's supporting this car. And remember, that squad has just been through a lot of pain because just next door, Paulie Jones' car is in open heart surgery down there at the moment as they try and get it ready for tomorrow. So they've had to endure a fair bit of pain today. But a nice start to the lap here for Nick Percat. He's been progressively making this car better all weekend and said it was good in high and low UV circumstances, and it's responding to the changes and smartened up beautifully in qualifying, hence where he's starting today. So 19.6 was the number that he achieved. 28 flat in the first sector, just a tiny bit away from the money.
Green tyres for Percat, nice run through there. He's chosen not to put the left-hand mirror on. He's down by just over 3/10 on the margin that we saw between Waters and Van Gisbergen. They're 0.04 of a second apart, first and second at the moment with a 20.34, and right out sideways, wipe the right-hand mirror back off. You can see there the moulding to the outside of the mirrors against that fence. That was very sideways. That almost dragged the right-hand rear into the wall on the way out of turn 11. He runs in the left-hand side. What's it do for Nick Percat? He does a 20.6. He goes back into 5th.
He lost a little bit of ground in that third sector, but that was a great lap. Full commitment. Maximum marks for effort on that one. So he qualified 4 in the earlier qualifying session. Probably going to end up down the order slightly by the time everybody's now run. But this was the moment that probably beat him. So he slid and then ultimately had to apply a fair degree of opposite lock. And I would imagine if I looked at the throttle trace in the data, he had to give it a breath at a critical point there.
No doubt about that. So now it's game on. I'm looking forward to the last 3 because there were, in terms of the number coming into this session, there was only 0.06 of a second between the top 4 cars. Now we've got 2 Mustangs, 1 Commodore, 2 Kiwis, 1 Australian. This is going to be fantastic.
Maybe SHOOTOUT, who's much happier with the general balance of the Mustang year on year versus what he dealt with last year. Strong the previous year, was a championship contender, but a tricky one last year. Ended up 9th at the end of it when we got to Newcastle. Fresh tyres on this car, good to go. Neatly jumps it across the top of the turn 2 curving, and we both remarked yesterday, focusing on these cars, that they land and are nicely controlled as they leap across the curve. This is the exit turn 4, jumping on forward, is out of breath. 7,500 RPM, north of 600 horsepower, control the wheel spin. Got to get it back down to about mid-80 kilometres an hour, then light it up again on the other side, staying in second gear the whole while. Check the number, 27.7, the best that we've seen, and then manage every single shift to the crankshaft revolution. You can't afford to touch the rev limiter. It has to be to perfection if you want to make the numbers. Turn 8. Nose of the car dips down, 245 kilometres an hour again. Ryan Story dares not to blink. Throws it down to the apex, turns it in a bit early to assure himself of getting there.
He did. He had to get it there because he was braking it hard. He had to turn it early to make sure that he minimised the understeer and made the apex at turn 9. Very nice job so far by Fabian. He's right on the cusp. This is where we said yesterday that the car looked like it rode the bumps and was able to modulate the brake locking really nicely for the final corner. What's it do for Fabian?
Looking good. He goes to the top on a 19.8, the first of the 19s that we've seen in the Armour All shootout. And they respond to the Shelby Power Racing team. He did a 19.6 in quali to earn the position. He's almost repeated that number.
Fantastic job.
That is a very, very good job. He's had a pole position here before. He did it in 2016. The replay shows the commitment at turn 8. He's listening in the background. Nice work, Mr. Coulthard. That's a very impressive number. The first and only driver in the 19s so far.
Awesome, thanks guys. Credit to everyone at Shelby Power for performance. The Mustang was on the rails, so hopefully it's good enough.
Beautiful lap. Fabian, what's the car like as a race car?
Oh, we're yet to find out. It's the heat that concerns me the most, so I don't think we've driven these temperatures for quite some time, so we'll know this afternoon.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
Next up, a driver who's won 10 races at this location, more than any other supercar driver. 5, Christian 4, Adelaide, 500 victories, 7 pole positions. He wound up third in the championship last year. He's gone back to the familiar 88 on this car. Whoa. He actually locked the brakes on the run into the final corner. Now, that could be costly because your exit speed off the final corner determines your peak speed and how long you stay at it on pit straight. That might bite.
It may do. All these cars now are on green tyres beautifully across the curve at turn 2. I'll give you that first sector when we know where that is. But as has hurt a little bit, he actually was quite unstable on the brakes there at turn 4 at Wakefield Street. Then a big slide coming off 4, across the inside curve aggressively at 5. What's he do here? This is where Van Gisbergen rubbed the fence. Almost the same.
He's there or thereabouts. He's done a 27.8, but the car looks a bit untidy, doesn't it? So the best we've seen so far is a 27.78. So Jamie's in there, but just not quite at the moment. And given the start to the lap, it's probably not a bad recovery. Had things stitched up on the Sunday here last year, but a transaxle failure took him out of contention. He was well in front of Van Gisbergen at the time. He does connect with this racetrack. We'll get a read on the second portion, the second sector here in a moment to see what it looks like. And again, it's just a little bit too far away. He's out of space on the exit at turn 11. I doubt whether it's going to be a pole. Depends on this final sector now into the last corner.
Will it be in front of Van Gisbergen is the key, because Cam Waters and Van Gisbergen are both at 20.3. They're currently second and third. What's it do for Whitcup? Whitcup second with a 20.21.
P2, Fabian's 19.8 time. So, 1 to go, mate. Not too bad.
David Couchy there talking to him. 32.1. That's the fastest last sector. So a nice job there, but watch this here. He battles to get it stopped. It's moving around the brakes. It's all unstable. He gets it turned, and then in the end, he had to run it too wide, too sideways. And the first sector was the one that really hurt him. Jamie Musgrave, great lap. Oh, we're watching you now coming out of turn 11. My God, that was close to the fence. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Just an error at turn 7, unfortunately. It just didn't get a good run down the back straight. But apart from that, the car's reasonable. Yeah, front 2 rows for today. We'll be happy with that.
Good luck this afternoon.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
So Jamie Whitcup, not a bad recovery considering the lock brake on the run into the final corner to be just 0.3 of a second behind, but it sets up a fascinating first couple of rows for our battle this afternoon in Adelaide. Now, our final runner, car number 17, the reigning Virgin Australia Supercars champion, Scott McLaughlin. Brand new car, new chassis, new shape. He's been away, taken his eyes away from supercars for some time. Now he's back and reinvigorated and ready to rock and roll. And instead of being the chaser, he's the chased. What's he got in store? He's never had a win and he's never had a pole here. Been a runner-up on a couple of occasions. On Sunday, he cleans up his 200th supercar race start.
25-year-old Kiwi was the benchmarking qualifier for the last couple of years. He had 13 poles last year. He's just slightly shy of Fabian Coulthard in that first sector. Now, he's been great here all weekend. Have a listen here. This is fantastic. He's been the fastest in this corner. Oh, that's good. It's a little bit down, actually. He ended up about 1/10 slower than Will Davison in sector 2.
But how's that description of a little bit down? When you say a little, it is a little. So, there's not much in it at the moment. Turn 11. Now, the car stopped there on Friday when it flicked the belt off. And they had a pulley problem, lost power steering and oil pressure, but they recovered all okay from that. He's in the last corner. He'll be very, very close. But it might be a pole for Fabian. We'll see what happens. Only a few metres to run. They're watching at Shell V Power Racing. What does he produce? P3. Fabian Coulthard has the pole position.
Good job, Fabian.
That's P3, 20.2.
And the only car in the 19s now, Fabian Coulthard, so very good job.